Hey everyone, how's it going? Happy New Year and welcome to my first vid of 2019 on this channel. This is going to be another Transformers discussion video. I think this is going to be just a good way to start out the year. Um, as you guys are aware of, the Bumblebee movie's been out and it has not been a giant smashing success. We'll see how it does worldwide, so this may be a non-issue, but obviously you've already read the title. And in this video, I'm going to be asking, is it a good idea for a live action, basically movie, well, not live action, I guess, a CGI theatrical release of an entire movie that's just on the planet Cybertron, right? Set in the Bumblebee / Bayverse universe. Is that a good idea, and how much fan service is good for the brand? What should we expect as longtime fans? All that stuff. So let's talk about, to answer this question, we're going to have to talk a little bit about the impact that the live-action movie franchise has had on the brand up to this point. Obviously, the fandom is very divided on the live-action films. Personally, in my opinion, I'm not a big fan of them. I think largely they're very poor films with too much focus on the human characters. My favorite one that I've seen so far is Dark of the Moon. To be fair, I have not seen Bumblebee yet. I've heard that's a fairly good movie, especially like compared to the other ones, but I haven't seen it yet, so I can't speak to that one. But as for the rest of the movies in the franchise, I've been fairly underwhelmed by them, but I did like like I said, I thought Dark of the Moon was the best one out of all of them. So anyway, that's my personal opinion on it, but my personal opinion isn't really what we're talking about. What we're talking about is really the fact of the impact it's had on the franchise. So the impact it's had, obviously, the live-action Transformers movies have brought Transformers back into the mainstream consciousness that's not been seen since the days of G1, right? When they made the first live-action Transformers movie back in 2007, it brought, huge awareness amongst the general population of Transformers again that was previously lacking. And Transformers has been in your face really ever since then. It brought a ton of money into the brand, yada, yada, yada. And honestly, it seemed like for us fans, we got, starting around that time, I mean, we've gotten tons of, generation style product that it's really been a G1 love fest for a really long time now in the Generations toy line, right? Which is great for us G1 fans. Do we have the movie to thank for that? I don't know. I could tell you that Hasbro has been, quote, fairly good to us, aside from Masterpiece, which I talked about in another one that I think is out of reach for a lot of collectors now. But as far as the mainline releases go, Hasbro has been doing fan service now for an extremely long time, and it looks like, I mean, with the new line, obviously, with Siege, they're going to continue that fan service that we've been getting for an extremely long time. And I don't think, regardless of how the movies do, I think that's probably going to continue because the Generations line seems to be perennially a pretty good seller. So I think that's going to continue. So I think, at least on the toy side, fan service seems to be working out pretty well for Hasbro, and they seem to get a good amount of sales from it, and I don't see them really abandoning that anytime soon now as far as the movie goes. And the reason I bring this up is, let's face it, if they make a CGI-based Cybertron movie with G1-esque designs, it's totally made for, it's going to be for the longtime fans, but financially, how will it do in the theater? I don't know. considering they've yet to make a total fan servicing movie as a motion picture. I in the theaters, I have no idea how that will perform. Are there enough of us that would really want to go see this thing that would make it a success? I don't know. I can't answer that question. And with Bumblebee underperforming, this might be a moot point anyway. The film franchise might be dead. I don't know. I don't have. It's just speculation at this point. I mean, honestly, though, I think the film franchise up to this point, excluding Bumblebee, because again, I haven't seen it, the film franchise overall has been mishandled because, honestly, they're just piss poor, bad movies for the most part, right? That's my opinion. And I think audiences are sick and tired of those movies at this point. I think, especially after the last night, my God, sitting through that was like, actually the last two, Age of Extinction and the last night, those were marathons to get through. They were just long, tedious, and honestly, at the end of the day, rather boring films in my opinion. And they just totally dropped the ball with the live action franchise, despite they were just coasting on previous success. So I don't know. I think, in my personal opinion, probably what would be best overall for the franchise, as much as I would love to see a fan service type of film, I think the best thing that they could do for the franchise at this point would be not to release any any movie in theaters for 5 to 10 years and reboot it with something. It doesn't have to be total fan service in that amount of time, but I would say make it more in the vein of G1 than what we got. And by that I mean, obviously, it could still take place on Earth, still have some human characters, but make the robots more aesthetically pleasing, because I'm mixed on the movie aesthetic. Obviously, you see the Bumblebee blanket on my chair from the movies, and I think Bumblebee's all right. The blanket was a gift. I didn't pick it out myself. I would have gotten G1 Prime or something, but so I'm mixed on the movie aesthetic. But I would change it, make it more G1-esque. Not completely. You can change it up some. You can modernize it, but still kind of give it that feel. And you could give it kind of a similar feel. And I think those movies would do fairly well. But I think Transformers kind of needs to go away from movie theaters for a while. But I think that Hasbro should definitely continue the fan service in the form of toys like they've been doing. I think if they do that, they'll probably continue to sell well for the foreseeable future. Anyway, that's it. Those are my thoughts on this. I know it was a bit random, but that's all I have to say about it. Please, please, please let me know in the comments below what you think. If you like this, as always, thumbs up. If you hate me, thumbs down. Share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.